This is Dead Serious, a show about short horror stories worthy of discussion. I'm Dead Pallet, and traps are gay. Today we're going to be taking a look at SCP-1788. That's 1788. I haven't really tackled these SCPs before, and recently on Undercooked Analysis we took a look at SCPs. You can go look at the SCP roundup that we did. It's a 3-part episode. Really enjoyed making that with Alan and David. I think that those things went well, and that was a trip on its own. And I started to realize that while I've tried to keep up on all things related to Creepypasta and Ashcan horror and realist horror and No Sleep and stuff like that, I haven't really been keeping up with SCP. If you don't know about SCP, it is the SCP Foundation. There's a website for it, the scpwiki.net, and it means secure, contain, protect. They got their whole canon. You can go look at the link below to figure out, what's going on with the SCP Foundation. I'm going to proceed assuming that you know a little bit about it, at least as much as I do, which isn't a whole lot. But let's get right into this story. Item number SCP-1788, Object Class Keter, so this thing is inherently dangerous. Special Containment Procedure. Containment of SCP-1788 is currently impossible. Embedded agents in various governments, including those of blank, blank, and redacted, are working to enact mandatory Roentgen screenings under the guise of tuberculosis eradication as a means of pinpointing SCP-1788-1 instances. Any suspected instances of SCP-1788-1 are to be reported immediately to Armed Biological Area 223 Command. Personnel are not to engage suspected instances and should retreat immediately. So the picture next to all of this text is the picture of a very obese man who is bald, white, in a red shirt, who is kind of dumbfounded looking with his eyes blanked out, even though it's pretty clear. You could get a picture of what this person looks like, even with the black bar. And it says instances of SCP-1788-1. So this must be some kind of disease, anomalous disease that keeps arising. That sounds interesting, but let's press on. The Foundation currently has 7 instances of SCP-1788-1 imprisoned in Armed Biological Area 223. Okay, so we have captured some people, but the containment of the idea of SCP-1788 cannot be contained currently. Okay, so instances can be contained, but not whatever this biological thing is. Contact with these instances is strictly forbidden outside of approved experiments. Each instance is to be housed in a separate humanoid containment cell. Feeding and cleaning requirements are laid out in document 1788-CF. No more SCP-1788-1 instances are required currently for current research purposes. Any newly discovered instances of SCP-1788-1 are preemptively cleared by O5 Command for immediate termination by Armed Mobile Task Force TAL-4, parentheses, all things bright and dutiful. So they have 7 of these things in containment, whatever they are, and we're just about to get into the description just now, and all the other ones that we find out in the wild are to be eliminated, presumably, from the language that we're hearing here. I always like the very Orwellian language. That's something that you don't get a whole lot of in Creepypasta, is Orwellian language. I think Slime Beast does it a little bit here and there with the Abandoned by Disney stuff, and a little bit with like Stranger Danger and that kind of stuff. But I like the task force that's sent out to kill these people is called All Things Bright and Dutiful. That's lovely. Not well read, as many people know, but yeah, we need more bits of Orwellian stuff here. This is something that I've been missing out on. Man, this is refreshing to read. Description: SCP-1788 is a process, treatment, or other means of biological transformation. A prepubescent human being subjected to SCP-1788 becomes an instance of SCP-1788-1. Currently, creators, (S), so possibly creator, possibly creators, or discoverers, one or multiple, of SCP-1788 is unknown. Groups of interest are being investigated. Finding the origin of SCP-1788 is considered a Sindri-level priority. So looking around the SCP website for what Sindri-level priority means, I cannot find a single instance of what this word means, and then I googled it, found no information on Sindri-level priority outside of this one article for SCP-1788. So maybe that's just a little bit of flavor text, or rather than saying, a series of letters and numbers, they say Sindri-level. Apparently Sindri has something to do with mythology. According to Wikipedia, the Norse mythology, Sindri, from the Old Norse cinder or spark, is the name of both a character, probably a dwarf, and a hall that serves as a dwelling place for the souls of the virtuous after Ragnarok. So that's what Sindri means. I'm not sure what this has to do with SCP-1788, but let's press on. On reaching adulthood, SCP-1788-1 instances display predatory behavior towards prepubescent humans. Ooh, we're taking a dark turn here, aren't we? Typically, they will settle in a large urban center, find a form of white-collar employment, then there's a source that goes to something, then begin tracking prepubescents in the area. Approximately once every 6 months, an SCP-1788, SCP-1788-1 instances will attempt to abduct one of the prepubescent children, one of the prepubescents it has been tracking, and take them to a remote or otherwise unobserved location, where it is subjected to the SCP-1788 process and turned into an instance of SCP-1788-1. Wow. This is fucking dark. Okay, so it's often said, and I'm not sure how true this is, I'm sure people would be dubious of this claim or believe it, I'm not sure, but it's often said that if you are sexually assaulted as a child, that you'll probably grow up to do something similar, and that you need to break that cycle. That's something that I think is probably true. I don't want to comment on that without any kind of research to back it up, but it sounds true. And so this is saying that this is some sort of supernatural anomaly that needs to be contained and cannot be contained. That makes perfect sense. It remains to be seen whether they are saying that this is different from your average run-of-the-mill pedophile and that this is like super pedophilia disease zombie kind of thing, or whether it's, just the naturally occurring forms that are just as repugnant. But anyway, let's press on. Little information has been gathered from captured instances of SCP-1788-1. Instances are of above average intelligence, and it shows a source, and show extremely strong resistance to compulsion, coercion, torture, data expunged, and other forms of information extraction. Every instance to date has also shown signs of malignant narcissism and psychopathy. They generally have a complete lack of empathy while also showing keen psychological insight. For these reasons, among others, unauthorized contact with SCP-1788-1 instances is strictly forbidden. So again, this is further going down the line of what you would see from sexual predators that go after children, and it's not clear whether, it's super not clear whether this is supposed to be talking about that phenomenon that we actually see in real life, or whether this is saying that this is some parallel thing that's going on that is just completely unrelated, but presenting itself in the same exact way. Either way, I think that it is certainly an interesting commentary on that, contextualizing it as this horrific thing, this very real world, very quote-unquote ashcan kind of horror, saying that it is something that needs to be contained but cannot be contained. That's interesting. Individual instances generally do not voluntarily gather or interact except for the purposes of mating. In fact, when two or more instances are placed in the same environment, they typically fight for dominance. This behavior is not gender-linked. Females and males will fight one another in addition to their own genders. In a mixed gender group, there will be only one dominant individual who may be male or female. Captured instances are housed separately to minimize damage, and multiple instances have been seen in the same general urban area, but never in a ratio greater than 1 in 100,000 normal humans. Then there's a source cited. Okay, so thinking about this now, reading closer into the information, I guess that this would have to be a parallel thing, but for a lot of this, for most of the information given, it could be parallel to actual real-life sexual predators and completely different than them, in terms of their source and where they come from. But it is given the approximate date of every 6 months is when they will attack. And I guess that does make it rather oddly specific. So let's press on. Mating season, and they have mating seasons, which is interesting. Mating season apparently occurs annually, but is not seasonally linked. Instances in some environments have been observed mating in the summer, while other instances have been observed mating in winter months. SCP-1788-1 instances will exclusively mate with one another that have no apparent sexual attraction to normal humans. Gestation period for SCP-1788-1 instances is approximately 40 weeks, roughly the same time as humans. Their offspring are genetically indistinguishable from normal humans and are not considered anomalous. However, they are prime candidates for undergoing the SCP-1788 process. Their capture or termination is to be considered high priority, second only to termination of SCP-1788-1 instances. Okay, so the SCP Foundation is going out and killing the naturally born, completely innocent children of SCP-1788-1 instances. So it's just killing these innocent children because they're at a likelihood of becoming an instance of 1788-1 instances. So pressing down to the footnotes, which I think are probably going to be important to this. Footnote 1, which is talking about the blue-collar job thing. Notably, they will not seek employment in a job where they work directly with children. Presumably, this is to limit suspicion. Very sensible. 2, which is talking about their above-average intelligence. More detailed observations are difficult to make, as instances refuse to take standardized exams, become aggressive and uncooperative when forced to answer questions, and are otherwise unwilling or unable to comply with tests. This behavior is similar to that of an apex predator. Okay. I kind of read ahead on to 3, and 3 was linked to... We're talking about the apex predator, says 1 in 100,000 normal humans. And then -4, which is talking about... Oh, the -4 isn't related to anything. Note that their actual weight is often closer to 250 kilograms due to higher muscle and bone density. That is bizarre. Okay. That is completely something that you wouldn't notice on your average human is that they're denser. That's interesting. And then source 5, logs of this incident have not been fully cleared. In summary, a team of agents were unable to lure SCP-1788-1 instances into the range of a sniper who was able to destroy most of the instances' heads, including their entirety of the main brain, with several shots from a high-caliber rifle. However, the instance still displayed full mobility and partial lethality, disabling 2 agents, killing them, one fatally, at close range. It is unknown how the instances was still able to sense the agents, with most of its primary sense organs destroyed. Research is ongoing. We're going to take a quick read through of SCP-1- why do I keep saying that? 1788-1 anatomy. It is extremely difficult to distinguish an instance of SCP-1788-1 from a normal adult human, even on close inspection. Individuals show variation as expected from gender and ethnicity, but share certain characteristics in common. SCP-1788-1 individuals appear to be obese, within the range of 150 to 200 kilograms when fully grown. SCP-1788-1 instances have larger than average eyes, although not enough to appear abnormal on casual inspection. Their sweat contains high levels of potassium and copper, though still within the normal range of an adult human. That is oddly specific and makes me think that maybe this has something to do with gasoline and pennies by the Little Fears. Though externally normal, their internal anatomy has been extensively changed. SCP-1788-1 instances, long bones and cranium have been reinforced with several heavy metals, and their muscle fibers have been interwoven with structures resembling carbon nanotubes. That is weird, and this is getting more and more bizarre. This gives them durability, strength, and speed well above the human baseline. See document 1788-1 DX for measurements and estimates. Level 3 clearance is required, so you better stop breathing if you do not have level 3 clearance. SCP-1788-1 instances process backup organs and systems for most of their body's vital processes. For example, they have a secondary heart lower in the torso, which can work in tandem with the primary heart to more effectively circulate blood, or can function independently as necessary. Certain blood vessels have complex valve structures, allowing instances to close off blood flow to damaged limbs and other areas to prevent excessive blood loss. Other organ systems also have 2 or 3 redundant backups that can take over in the event of a failure of a primary organ, plural. SCP-1788-1 instances also possess a secondary brain located in the upper torso and is protected by its own skeletal structure, similar in construction to the ribcage. Currently, the exact function of this brain is unknown. It is known that the brain can continue to function even in the event of the destruction of the primary brain, as demonstrated by the incident 1788-XR-12. And that's what we got with footnote number 5. The final difference is in gross anatomy is the appearance of a secondary pair of arms located directly below the main pair. Ooh, gross, what? These apparently have equal strength and dexterity to upper arms, and SCP-1788-1 instances are apparently capable of using all 4 arms simultaneously. When not actively hunting, instances hold the lower pair folded closely at their sides, where they are largely concealed by natural bulk. When hidden in this manner, it is virtually impossible to distinguish a closed instance of SCP-1788-1 from a normal, obese human, except on closer inspection. Now lastly, for the interview log, where this is presumably going to show us a instance of this SCP-1788-1-863. So this is a specific instance. This is what the interviewer said. Interviewer is Mandeville. Probably that means something to SCP people, but I don't know who that is. Note that this specific instance of SCP-1788 was restrained and fitted with an electroshock collar for this interview. Begin log, Director Mandeville. Please state your name for the record. And then the SCP laughs. I don't need a name. Names are for children. Oof, that's gross. Mandeville, the driver's license and the other material on your personal identify you as redacted. Is that your name? That's my child's name. I don't need it now, says the SCP. Mandeville, then I will refer to you as 863. Call me whatever you like. Just don't call me late for supper. Then the SCP laughs. Mandeville, you were found by our agents outside of an elementary school, and the documents in your car and apartment include multiple photographs of children taken without their knowledge. Are you a pedophile? 863. The SCP suddenly becomes violent and attempts to break his restraints. Expletive you sick expletive, I'll expletive kill you, you're the pervert, you expletive. Mandeville, if you're not a pedophile, 863, then why are you observing children? SCP stops attempting to break restraints. You think they're children? SCP laughs. I can't believe we came for you. Mandeville, explain what you mean by that, 863. The SCP does not speak. Mandeville activates the shock collar. The SCP does not visibly react, instead opting to laugh. That's what I mean. You think you can hurt me with that? You're a failure, Doctor. You don't even know what you are. Mandeville, you care to elaborate, 863? SCP, you wonder why your scientists haven't found any anomalous implants in our bodies? Why we have no surgical scars? Why our genes are pure, unmodified human? We are human, Doctor. Because we are human, Doctor. Mandeville, your x-rays don't look very human, 863. SCP, we don't look like you. We're not failures. We're not children. Mandeville, you regard us as children. Well, Mandeville, that should be pretty fucking clear. You still look like children. You aren't finished. Mandeville, what do you stunned, incomplete. You're stunted, incomplete. It's like you're an amphibian that grows to breathe water instead of fresh air, I watch, the eggs I watch, they must hatch into us. They need to be finished. Mandeville, so you abduct them to complete their metamorphosis? 863, we don't need companionship. We don't live like you in herds. Each one of us knows what we need to do, and each one of us is capable of it. Mandeville, what do you want us to do? Grow up or die? End of log. So what I'm noticing with these stories is every time you think you have an idea of what the story is going for, you read more information, you research more into it, you look into these footnotes and these extra files, and holy shit, there's actually a whole lot more to the story. So at the beginning, it seems as though this is some sort of cancerous cell in the way that it's described, because of the way that these documents are organized. I love this about the SCP Foundation, and I'm just like going through these again for the first time in a long time and realizing how much I love this format. So it starts out being like this cancerous thing that's taking over people, and then it turns out that it makes people pedophiles, and then it turns out that they have all of these extra organs, and now through this document with 863, this specific instance of SCP-17-88-1, we're seeing that they consider themselves to be like the Ubermensch, like the greater human, and that you need to go through a metamorphosis, and you're just not getting it yet, and what I'm doing is good. That's awesome. This is so bizarre. It's talking from this place of authority. I like this story a lot. But let's move on to our sponsor of the day, because this went way fucking longer than I thought it would. Our sponsor of the day is aptly Cancer. Cancer You didn't think Bill Hicks would be that funny by himself, did you?